so nervous.
Hey folks, Rick Berube here live with Billy O'Keefe from the Sahara office. We've done this before, so this is good. We'll have some fun. And it's someone's birthday today.
Come on, why do you got to point that out?
Hey! Oh, God. Come on, you got to point it out. It's your birthday.
I'm 40 again.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
It's
Office Christmas party.
All right, and today we're going to be talking about what's going on in the market, Billy.
Yeah, originally we were going to talk about something else, but today, we had to shift gears a little bit because of the shift that's going on right now. So I don't know I'm sure a lot of you have been experiencing this. It seems like overnight, all of a sudden that offers, there's more multiple offers, properties are harder to get, people are offering without even seeing the house to give themselves a chance at getting the house. Like I almost feel like it happened like that, just some point in the last week or so. And if the key to this whole thing is preparation. So if you're not ready for this, you're going to have a very difficult time. Your buyers are going to be upset. Well, they're going to be upset anyway because it's going to be challenging. Right. But the key is going to be preparation. That's what we're going to talk about today is how to prepare for this, setting expectations, and just determining which clients you want to work with and which ones may not be the ones you want to work with at this point.
Yeah. A lot of the agents I hear, a lot of buyers are saying, I don't want to compete with the California buyers because they come here, right? And you can buy twice the house for half the money, the cost of living, everything's incredible. And here's the interesting part too, by being in all three markets, this has been going on in California for a little while. I mean, it's not uncommon for someone to pay 10% over asking in Orange County, yep, San Diego, LA County, and then in Phoenix, Scottsdale area, this has been going on for a few months, and it's getting $350,000 house selling for $400,000, yep, $400,000 house selling for $450,000. And like you just said, if you're not preparing your buyers, they get turned off. I had a coaching, one of our agents in Phoenix, this is the 5th property these people have made offers on. Yep. And you got to have that upfront conversation. So how would that go? I mean, that'd be valuable.
So, another thing too is that, this starts with the agent side, agent side, because there's a lot of, several of you, I'm sure were in the business last time in the mid 2000s when this happened. We'll talk about maybe some historical differences later, but for us that have been through it, we have a little bit of an advantage because we went through it. We knew how we knew the challenges, and by the time it was all over and done with, it was almost too late for us to figure things out, right? So first it comes down to positioning yourself to give your buyers and your clients the best chance at success. Okay, so number one is making sure you understand what's going in the market with the low. It seems like I've been waiting for this to happen for like 1 to 2 years. It almost seems like we were there, but we didn't quite get to the point where appraisal contingencies were being waived. Maybe in the lower price points you started seeing, I'll pay $5,000 above, a few thousand here and there. But we were on the verge of it for a while, and it just recently happened. So making sure first of all, you need to making sure all of your buyers get them approved. There is no, okay, well, when I find a property, that's when I'm going to talk to my lender. No, because that property is gone by the time you get off the phone with your lender. So prepare, have all of your buyers in advance, as far in advance as possible. Get that approval letter. That's going to give them that. That's bare minimum. Okay, it's kind of like having good photos on your listings like that. It's just a bare minimum thing you need to do right now. The other thing too is having them assess their cash situation, because obviously cash buyers are going to have a big advantage, right? Right. But and this all has to stem around appraisals, right? Because price is just a term, right? So if your buyer wants a house and they just think they're just going to bid up way above and beyond appraised value and think they're just going to get the house and there's going to be no problem, that's also something we need to prepare our buyers for too, is appraisal issues, how to position ourselves to compete against other buyers that might have comparable offers by looking at our cash situation, right, what we're willing to do in advance, what we're willing to agree to in advance, or else it's going to be challenging. It's going to be really tough.
May want, if you got 20% down, you may want to say 20% down on a $400,000 house, $80,000. Let's get the commitment letter at 10% down, and let's keep that 40 in case we got to pay over asking, things like that, right?
Yeah, not just over asking, but over appraised value. And again, I don't like this market, but this is the market we're in, and we're going to probably continue to be in this market for a while.
Well,
okay?
which is the other thing. Some buyers are saying, "I'm waiting for the crash." That cracks me up. We'll get to that in a minute, though.
yeah, exactly. So one of the other things too is being very transparent with your buyers is going to be very critical right now. Having these tough conversations, I'm having them with all of my clients right now. I'm explaining to them about the shift that we've seen all of a sudden. What it's going to take for them to give themselves the best chance of getting a property, and find out from them if they're willing and able to do it. Because what's the plan B? If the plan B is, you know what, I don't want to deal with this market. Okay, that's great. What is your plan? Are you going to rent right now? Are you going to wait till the next cycle? Because again, people waiting for the next cycle. We don't have a crystal ball, right?
Right.
This could last, another few years. What What is it going to take for people to leave Las Vegas and for
Well, I think what they don't realize also is you've been doing this a long time, so have I. I mean, if you take like a 7%, which is very historically normal, 7%. Now they're at 2.5%. You buy a house, even if the market comes down and now you're paying 7% again, your payment's actually going to be less now. Plus, when you start making your payments at 2.5%, almost over 40% of it goes to your principal immediately. Yep. So the deal today is the interest rate. Do I like the house? Can I afford the payment? Because the price, although within reason, as long as you can afford it, it's going to get clipped down faster, right?
Yep.
So they got to be thinking all this, or this is, it's like you said earlier, I don't like this market. Well, it's not one of my favorites either, but if you're buying, it's still way better than renting. And if you're buying now, by the time, like people were saying 2 years ago, I'm going to wait. If you had bought 2 years ago compared to now.
It's unbelievable. I've had people 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm going to wait till the crash and then I'm going to buy. I'm like.
And you're still renting.
Yeah, and they're still waiting. Yeah. So, and again, lay out all the facts. There's a lot of moving parts to all of this. He brings up with interest rates too. Also, how long is this move? How long are you going to be in this house for? If you're coming in to, for a couple of years, maybe they reevaluate whether they're going to buy or not. But, anything that's going to be, they're planning on being here and this is going to be their home, right. That's another factor.
Sure.
Again, rates, how long they're going to be here for, what is their why and what is their motivation to buy? You got to drill down to that so that you can have these conversations and lead them down the path of self-discovery so that they can be the ones that determine, yes, I'm going to grind this out. I'm going to get something. I really want a home. Sure, I don't like the competitiveness of the market, but I do believe in the strength of the market and the stability of the market. And let's do it. And then you've got somebody motivated and willing to do what it takes. So establishing that first is going to be the most important thing. You've got to make sure you guys work together as a team so that you're not pushing somebody and dragging them behind you. Right. You're kind of walking with them and taking them through this, and they understand what to expect. When they're in a competitive offer situation, you may suggest, maybe you need to offer $5,000 above appraised value. If the appraisal comes in low in advance, maybe that gives you the advantage over the 5 other buyers. So these are things that we got to start thinking about and talking about so that it reduces the frustration level with not only agents, because it's not only the buyers that are going to be frustrated, it's the agents. The listing agents are starting to disappear now too.
Right.
They have a property that's coming soon. They're getting bombarded with offers, sight unseen, and it's hard to get listing agents to call you back now. So again, have the expectations, be prepared for that, and try to see around the corners and stay ahead of things. We got to do that for our buyers and for us in the industry. We got to work together on that.
Absolutely. Yeah, and if you're a real estate agent, if you ever thought about becoming a listing agent, now is a good time to do that.
Oh my God, yeah. And but again, it's our patience, our buyers' patience, they're going to be stretched. I see it. I'm experiencing it right now, and it's all about preparation. I know I keep saying that, but it's all about preparation.
Well, you can even tell them, Paul, I don't want to be the bad guy here, so I want to go over what's necessary to buy a home today, because when it gets frustrating, you can't blame you, so you're going to blame me. So let's go over all of this ahead of time. So I'm going to paint you a picture as to what's going on.
Right, exactly.
I call it the set the expectation conversation.
Yeah, exactly. And so doing that, preparing buyers, what's interesting too is, like a little historical perspective, because for those of you who were in the business in the mid 2000s and we started seeing this, our market is so much more stable. We've talked about this before. Most of these people buying, their owner occupants, right? They're coming in from other states, high cost of living areas. They have resources. Right. They're putting money down. They can actually afford to buy these houses. That's why we're also seeing and I consider entry level luxury $1 million to $1.5 million. Would that kind of, about most people would think that. Even those price points now are competitive. You're seeing multiple offers in those price points. You're seeing, more people putting in cash offers on those again, because people coming, the people coming here from out of states, a lot of them again have resources and can afford to buy houses, and spending $800,000 to $1.5 million is a savings. It's a savings for them. So
especially when you factor in the state, the property taxes, state income tax if you're moving. There's so many benefits, especially if you come from California. Let's face it.
Yep, exactly. So
it's like half price.
exactly, and it's going to be very interesting, moving forward with this. But again, we just got an appraisal in just this morning. It appraised low, but we almost kind of expected. So again, but as these things are occurring, we weren't, we were kind of prepared for it, but right. But again, because we put the offer in like 3 weeks ago, right? Yeah. And I'm like, we're starting it. So, but again, making sure that buyers' cash situations are going to be critical. Like you said, instead of putting 20% down, maybe you need to put less down, have some free cash available if your buyers really wants to make sure they can get into this market.
Yeah, and that's critical. And then, I think that having that conversation, you owe it to your fiduciary responsibility is to have that conversation with them. Now, some of the argument will be, well, I don't have them sign a buyer broker agreement. You should be doing that now, because and not because no matter what they do, you want to get paid. You want to do it so you're on the same team. You are now on the same team, right? Which means that you're going to work together and help buy them a property.
Right. So, it's going to take a lot more work and energy and effort at this point. So,
and explain that to them, which I think is huge.
Yeah, exactly. So, another thing too is now's the time to really start capitalizing on your reputation in the business too. Because right. In multiple offer situations, if you have had experience with an agent, because again, there's a lot of pressure on that agent who's advising that seller. When you've got a bunch of offers, okay, which one gives us the best chance to close? Right. Price is just a term, right? Obviously, the seller wants to get the highest net, but highest price isn't always going to be the winning bid. Maybe it's the strongest buyer financially. Maybe it's the one that's offering the most to pay above appraised value if appraisal comes in low. So you got to have a conversation. Now's the time. Get on the phone with the listing agent, assuming you can get them on the phone, right?
Yeah.
And have a conversation. What's the most important thing for your seller? Maybe it's a possession you have to close. Maybe you're putting a heavy down payment on a property, and that 1 month of isn't costing you that much, so it's a low dollar value for you, but a high dollar value for the seller, because maybe their mortgage is $3,000, but yours is going to be $1,200, and giving them free possession. Just whatever it is, trying to figure out how to be creative, trying to think of other terms you can come up with to make your offer stand out. That's what we need to start doing, and this is why we need to think ahead of time. Really dig and find out who your buyer is, so that we can make suggestions to them and give them the best chance of getting their offers accepted.
Absolutely. And for those of you thinking that the market could tank and so forth, just so you know, there are several reasons. I like what you said last time we talked. You said, when you talk to your friends and then you ask them how many properties they own, they say, my house. You asked them in 2007, they'd say, I own my house, I own 3 others. I got them no income statement. So today the market is, the people that are paying cash for these homes, the people that are getting into bidding wars are the people that are going to live there. Right? Totally different.
Yes. So exactly, you hit the nail on the head. And one of the big difference, when we talk about historical comparisons, is the amount of equity in the market is huge right now. I mean, even a year ago, before COVID, I think that Applied Analysis came out, or I don't remember what company, more than half of the homeowners had at least 50% equity.
That's
Market's
crazy.
gone up, so now there's more. So there's a lot of equity in the market. It's stable. I know it seems like maybe things may be overvalued just because of the excitement and what the low inventory is creating. But you have to look at the future and go, when are we going to stop having people want to move to Las Vegas and finding it an attractive option? I don't know. I mean, it could last for a while.
Well, even with the entertainment going down and the casinos going down, there are still people moving here because there's other industry here now.
Right. And people
we're
working
a real
from
city.
home. Yeah. Well, yeah, we've matured a bit with some of the professional sports, so that's been kind of nice. But it's just again, it's time to really serve our buyers and by getting a little creative and really educating ourselves on what's going on. But again, I've said this probably 10 times: prepare. Don't wing it. You got to prepare, and that's what I'm doing with every one of my buyers right now. I'm calling them up, I'm having a conversation, going over the facts. So when you're waist deep in the trenches working with buyers and you're experiencing what's going on, it's easier for them to believe you, okay? Right. And you're still going to get pushback because people still, when they're not used to certain markets, and what I always say is you have to have maybe one or two heartbreaks before some people really understand what's going on.
Yeah.
Hopefully they'll believe you, but sometimes you kind of have to show them and maybe go through one or two.
Yeah. My other examples like heartbreak to breakthrough, I think is a good way to look at it. And just to cover the appreciation factor, because someone asked me about this just yesterday. In 2007, things were appreciating. People were escalating sale prices, stated down payments. These are people coming up with the difference in cash, right? Yeah. This is a whole different. I've never seen this healthy and appreciating. Oh, and by the way, the interest rates are free all at the same time.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So again, it's not even close to the house of cards it was in the mid 2000s, right?
That's a good way to put it.
So that's why, and that's what gives me more confidence that the market is going to remain stable and for a period of time. Again, we don't have a crystal ball. We don't know how long it's going to last, but you have to look at the economics of it and look at where's the inventory going to come from and what's going to create a situation where people are going to all of a sudden want to leave Las Vegas for better options out there.
Right.
Hard to say. I mean, who knows? You don't know what you don't know, right? But it's hard to think of what that might be.
Well, we'll have some people because of the entertainment and hospitality industry and so forth, casinos, that won't get their job back and probably will sell. Maybe but they'll have to sell. But that would actually, even though that's for a bad reason, it would actually be good. Any new listings that were to come on, even if we were to double inventory overnight, they'd be absorbed.
Right, and we'd still be in a low inventory market.
Exactly. If we double inventory, we would we'd still be in a low inventory market.
I think 12,000 is neutral, and we're in somewhere in the low fours, so
below 3 single families too. Yeah.
So it's and you made a point before just a little bit ago about where's it as far as inventory, and I get asked this question all the time. What about forbearance agreements that are going to start ending March? What I talked to a couple of mortgage guys, and because we haven't heard from the banks are not going to commit to what they're going to do. Are they going to have it as an upfront balloon? Are they going to put it on the back end? They're going to wait until it's kind of like when they decided on the short sale. They weren't going to tell you up front what they were going to do until they saw everything and they were forced to make a decision. Then they were going to tell you what they're going to do because that serves them best, right?
Right.
But what I've been hearing is people coming off forbearance agreements, the lenders are actually doing payback plans. So, okay, start making your payment, and you owe us $20,000. You're going to give us an extra $300 a month for X number of months until this is paid off. Okay? Right. And here's the thing: a lot of people, I don't know the exact percentages, but a lot of people that entered into forbearance agreements did it out of cautiousness, right? Like, oh my God, I don't know if I'm going to have my job.
What's going to happen? Yeah.
Right. So I think once these forbearance agreements end, you're going to see a lot of people figure out how to pay because it's their house, it's their primary residence. It's not an investment property where with no equity in it.
Yeah.
So you're going to see people fighting to keep their homes, working out deals. The people that have not gone back to work, that just can't most of them will have equity in the property.
Right.
And as much as sad as it is to say, because we really don't want the equity from people forced to sell, the market can, I believe it, the market can probably easily absorb those homes.
Oh, yeah.
And they'll sell. It's not going to be distressed. They'll probably have money, find a rental property. So there's nothing leading me to believe that there's all of a sudden going to be this crazy dump of inventory that's going to shift the market into the buyer territory, and things are going to go down. I mean, listen, every healthy market is cyclical.
Right.
We've been on, 11, 12-year run?
Yeah.
So at some point, it's going to happen, but with everything that's going on and the uniqueness of what's happening right now, I don't think it's very soon.
No, neither do I. Neither do I. And also, a lot of those people with forbearance, I mean, if you've had your loan for at least a year and a half or so, right? You closed on a few months. Your interest rate is you probably refinanced by now anyway.
Well, you're not. Well, you probably made more money in the house than you owe the bank.
Right. Exactly. Right.
By having the house that year,
and the bank would actually be happy with the payment back because their interest rate is higher than what they currently are.
Right.
So the more you look into it, the more options there are for people.
Right. So the microphone almost fell. So
Test 1, 2.
Yeah. So again, a lot of interesting things going on. It's it's going to be, I don't want to say fun, but it's kind of cool to go through this interesting.
It's like uncharted territory. It doesn't matter. I've been in real estate for 36 years. It's my 36th year. Never seen a market like this.
Yep. And it's going to be really interesting, like you said, to see how we were able to manage this, and how many of us are still friends once it's over.
All right. Well, I think that's good. All right, my man. Anything else you want to add?
I don't know. Any questions? Do you take questions or no?
I don't know if we have any.
No. Okay. Forget it then.
Paul, do you have a question? We'll answer one.
Can you just make pretend? Can somebody just ask a question so we feel important? All right. I have a question. I'm just kidding with you.
Do you have a question you want to answer?
Ask myself a question?
Yeah. Let me think. I would ask myself this. No, I think we covered a lot today.
Yep.
Absolutely. So
get ready.
Everybody.
Get ready. It's
Happy
coming.
birthday.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right.
Take care, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Take care.
Yeah, we'll talk to you soon. Thank you.